coordinator of the Tulsa Oilers. So, how did you like that championship game?
I thought it was pretty exciting. I mean, it was obviously the two best teams in the league
Yeah.
playing, and it you could see the differences in the bodies and just the. I mean, Vegas was a different team from the first time we played them to that game.
Mhm.
They just got better each week and well coached, and the players just fed off each other's intensity the entire remaining part of the season. So it was pretty awesome to watch.
Yeah. And then you were the ex Tucson head coach, and you enjoyed your probably two biggest victories in the season were against the Arizona Rattlers.
Yeah, those were great games. Um, it was something to where we always played the Rattlers tough. Whether it was
Mhm.
Wichita Falls, Texas, um, Frisco, Spokane. We came down there, lost our quarterback. Then we had a pillow fight that same year in 2021. Push a one, just push one, and then zero, and start. Sorry, not warming up
Okay.
pizza. Soccer practice was tonight, so yeah, the
Yeah.
plus sign, the play sign. Yeah, yeah, okay. And so, but no, it's always been playing them. So we always had a pretty good game plan against them, and
Mhm.
they're well coached. They're a great team, great players, and just our guys, just the way our guys battled back in that first game, at home, down 14 in the fourth quarter, and just made plays. I mean, the big pick by Mod Lyons, was a
Mhm.
huge, gigantic play, and you shoot if you don't pick it. Isaiah Houston makes a great catch for a touchdown, wins the game, but pulls ahead. But then at their place, I mean, we were looking at the quarter. I'm thinking up the clock and thinking, gosh, what is going on? How'd this happen? And all of a sudden,
35-9.
yeah,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden, I don't know, I don't know if it was our guys putting it into third gear, or somebody over there calling plays with their hand around their throat.
Mhm.
Just not sure which one it was, but it could have been a combination of both. But our guys both battled back, um, and Jam Williams had a big play. I mean, Trip Harrington was uncoverable that game. Raymond
Yeah.
was out there just. We ran naked cowboy, and he pretty much slapped the linebacker on the butt on his way out because the linebacker's chasing the running back. Just a lot of good scenarios that worked our fashion, and but at the same time, we had a lot of help this season. When it came to getting players from from Kevin. We had a
Yep.
couple guys that weren't working out there that we got off the waiver wire that worked out for us, and so we were pretty fortunate to get the guys we got late in the year.
So, looking back on your time as Tucson's head coach, what do you remember about it? Like, what was
I
it
mean,
like?
the fan base out there. The first person I met was Karen Merritt, Tim, and
Tim
Dell, and
Bradley.
yeah, and just everybody out there, just first class when it came to
Mm.
the first tryout. The Toots were out there. The fans just had their tents ready, watching it. The fan base is so passionate. It's awesome, and that's going to be the tough thing missing because you grow so close to those guys, and
Definitely.
shared a bourbon with Dell, and Tim and I drank some Miller Lights at some Arizona Wildcat games, and and Karen would bring oatmeal raisin cookies, which are my favorites, to practice, and so and Alicia would just be she would invite all the players over to their house, and they'd golf, and um,
Mhm.
so it was just you know it was awesome in that sense. With and the people in the office were great. Our trainer was the best in the business, Carissa. Um, there's a lot of great people out there, and just everybody you met was just nice and genuine and eager to get to a game. And
Mhm.
so I mean, my time there was great. I was given the opportunity at the right time, and you know, like I told Kevin the other day, I'm grateful for the opportunity because you came in when I needed it and gave me a shot, and we didn't win the games we wanted to win. Um,
Mhm.
but at the same time, like I told him too, the last time the Tucson Sugar Squad made the playoffs, San Diego was dumpster juice, Bay Area was dumpster juice, Vegas was dumpster juice, and Duke City was your 2 seed.
Mhm.
So I mean, it was a lot of more. It's a lot different in the West right now with that division going on with with the monopoly money going around in some places. So, but yeah, it was a great experience, great time. Loved it out there in Arizona. Experienced
Mhm.
probably the closest thing I hope to get to hell with that heat out there.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
It was hot. I remember one time coming outside and it was midnight, and I was like, God, it's still 100 degrees out here. Shirt just melts to your body with no sweat.
Mhm.
But I mean, the facilities out there were second to none. The people at the Sports Complex, Sarah Horvath, and them, they were just, I mean, first class people across the board. So nothing but good things to say about it.
So what ultimately led you to leave a head coaching job to go be the offensive coordinator for the Oilers?
Well, to be honest with you, 100% the truth is that, I don't like being away from my family.
Mhm.
The 28 hours away was putting a strain with my kids, the 3 hour time difference from back home, when
Mhm.
homework was to be done. And so you know, my team found a loophole in my contract where it was supposed to be a 3 year contract and it only was a 2 year. So it was a mistake on somebody's part. And so, I had an opportunity to get out of my contract and try to get closer to home and get with somewhere that I felt was, a good, solid chance to win a championship. And I let the guys know about a week and a half ago that I wasn't coming back, and just gave them the courtesy of letting them know that I'm taking an opportunity somewhere else. I didn't have to tell them, but I did.
Yeah.
And we had I already signed with Tulsa, and kept it quiet for as long as we did, and just it's just something where I felt like going to taking a step back to be an OC. Is going to give me an opportunity just to kind of rekindle a little bit of fire, and just focus on offense instead of focusing on what we spent money on the printer ink for. It's
Mhm.
just I don't have to worry about those things. And I just focus on X's and O's. And Coach Jones and I have been friends for quite some time now. We've always laughed and joked about teaming up and creating a monster. And I can guarantee that's what we're going to do in Tulsa this season. We're going to create a
So it
monster.
was it was pretty mutual between you and Tulsa. Did you reach out to them or did they reach out to you or
No, it was where I talked to Marvin, and Coach Jones and I
Mhm.
had conversations. You know, um, at the after the championship game, and just mentioned my contract's up in a couple of days, and he just kind of perked, and we had a conversation. After it ended, and we didn't talk about it before then. We just we had a good time at the championship game, and I felt comfortable enough to say that to him afterwards. And when it opened up, when my contract expired, he was the first to call. And I talked to a few other teams, and Tulsa ultimately was the place I wanted to go because Andy and Taylor, the ownership they got out there, what they had for the players when it comes to the meals, and the housing, facilities, and so it just was the best fit for me, when it comes to that. And I know it's a good fit for a lot of players too. And just
Mhm.
hearing that my former players talk about what the experience was like in Tulsa, and Taylor and Andy do it right, and 14,000 fans a game. I think they beat the Rattlers fan base this year with fans of the
Yeah.
year. I mean, you guys smell like sour grapes over in Arizona still. I mean, you guys are still pouting, and we're gonna do this. There's gonna come a
Some people are
consequence.
still pouting.
I,
Action Jackson's over it,
no,
but
I'm giving them a hard time. But again, it was funny because I mean, shit happens. You know, you win
yeah.
some, you lose some, but at the same time, the fan base and Tulsa, it just even when we played there in 2023, it was
Mhm.
like God, it's hard to play here. I mean, hell, they almost beat Arizona that year they were there. That
It is
first year,
pretty loud there.
it
I
gets super loud. I mean, it's I mean, the Rattlers place gets loud. It's not quite as loud as the old storm shelter up in Sioux Falls. That was the loudest place. You couldn't even
Mhm.
hear through the headset. Although Todd
Jeez.
had crowd music, crowd noise pumping through the speakers the whole game too. So I sat
Good
behind the
old
DJ,
Todd.
on a championship game there, and I watched the DJ turn the volume up with the crowd noise as the Nebraska Danger was about to call a play. And I'm like,
Oh
God,
man.
here we go. This is why. So everybody has a little tricks of the trade, but no, it
Yeah.
was the fan base there is just it's gigantic, and players want to play in front of crowds. You want to play in front of butts and seats. You don't want to hear crickets go off when you have your team announced. And so I know Tulsa is first class when it comes to that, and it just was enticing and something when Marvin gave me the opportunity, and it was pretty much a no-brainer, and
Awesome.
shoot, gave me the keys to the Jeep. So
So are you going to your first signing with Tulsa will be Trip Harrington?
well, I haven't talked to any players on the Tucson roster
Yeah.
yet due to per league rules. You can't talk
Yeah.
to them till the 15th. I know the rules. Unlike some other coaches in this league, they want to talk to guys ahead of time. But I'm I mean, Trip is a stud. Trip is going to
Mm-hmm.
be he's going to be a player, and he will be he'll be in Tulsa for sure. If he doesn't want to go, he'll at least be asked to go. So there's a lot of teams on that Tucson team that deserve an opportunity to be around. A 14,000
Mm-hmm.
fan base a game, and you can get your iPad. Get your iPad. Lenny
Do you already
Buckets.
have a quarterback planned?
Well, we got TJ Edwards on the roster.
TJ
He's injured on
Edwards.
IR.
Yeah.
I talked to TJ a couple times, and he knows my offense. Tulsa's been running my offense the last year, and Frisco ran it the year before.
Frisco.
I mean, exact same play calls, exact same play sheet. Verbiage is the same. Probably plagiarism involved in that, but at the same time, it works for me a little bit because
Yeah.
I can just plug and play. But TJ's dynamic, and he's one of the if not the top quarterback in the league when he's healthy. There's guys out there by the name of Josh Jones and Jerome Johnson and Drew Powell, and I mean, there's other guys that that I'm sure.
Delora.
No, Jaden's going to probably stay in Vegas.
Jaden.
It's a smart man.
Yeah.
But Tulsa's a great place to be. So I mean,
Mhm.
they do it right. Um, and I think it's whoever's in charge of that four-headed monster out there is going to be pretty happy with making that decision. So again, we got till the 15th to secure the quarterback that we have. After the 15th, if it's not secured and he decides that someplace is better for him, then we got to do what's best for us as an organization. And Coach Jones is going to make the right call when it comes to it. And
Mhm.
I'm sure we'll make the right call, make the right move. But there's a lot of talented players out there that that may want to start fresh somewhere else. In a city in Oklahoma. Who knows?
So you said October 15th is the first time you can talk
September
to
15th
September 15th.
is when you can talk to restricted free agents. You can sign them after October 1st. So you
No.
can't talk to you're not technically supposed to talk to them until the 15th. But there's been coaches calling everybody and trying to maneuver chess pieces. But players talk. So
So where do you see the league as far as when you in Wichita Falls and now present day?
I think there's 10 times more cheating going on right now in the league.
10
Um,
times more.
Yeah, but again, at the same time, everybody's doing it. I think everybody wants to point fingers and say, "Well, this coach can't win unless he buys a team." Well, that's pretty much the name of the game. Look at the
Mm,
NFL. The best players go where? To the money, to the atmosphere. To that's what's going to happen. That's a fact. And
mhm,
if you want to apples to apples, that's what happens. You're the team that has the most to offer on an even playing field or an uneven playing is going to get the better players. That's just a fact. And so
yeah.
I feel like it back then. I think it was one or two teams doing it, and now it's more teams. And again, but it makes the game more competitive. And I actually love it. I love the fact that it happens and goes on. But I know the commissioner put his foot down this offseason and put a nice little rule in if you get caught doing it. There's some consequences this year, which is great, and I'm proud that he did it and made the call. And the EC committee made the call to do it, but the league itself, where it is from now to Wichita Falls, is taking a huge leaps and bounds with the quality of ownership that's in the league right now. You got teams like the Fisher Freight, the Tulsa Oilers. Then you got your steadfast people like Kathy and Larry Trinkler in Iowa, in Green Bay and Iowa. And Doug Bland's been solid with the way he's done things the
Mhm.
years. You know, and he's won. So you can't take that away from him. And they got a great fan base, and so then you got the hit or miss teams that want to buy and pay certain players to get it done, and but the ownership that does it right, and that sees the faults or sees what they're doing wrong and fixes it and gets better the next year, and you know um, it's made this league so much better, and the teams that Todd's getting in here, and the other expansion committee members are getting in are just making this league even better. And at someday maybe everybody can agree to abide by the rules and not have an outside sponsor take care of a guy or have 38 guys at practice when one team's getting bitched at for having 26. Um, but that's just something that I want to deal with this season. But at the same time, it's something when everybody can just get together and pull the rope the same direction and not bold-faced lie to each other and say we're
Mhm.
not doing this, we're not doing that. I think that this league is gonna take off. Because
So is that what you mean by cheating?
I didn't say that, did I?
No.
That's a harsh word. I mean, it's gray area, right? We're living in the gray area. That's what we do.
Yes.
But I mean, everybody likes to point fingers instead of just go look in the mirror and point the finger and see where it's pointing at. So it ain't just one. It's a lot of people. So it's just a stupid subject to even talk about because you hear people say, "Oh, we're crystal clean. No, we're Snow White." It ain't the truth. It ain't the case. Maybe you just don't know about it.
Do you think
So
they'll ever raise the pay for the players?
I don't know. I think the big conversation about that is workers' compensation. You got to pay
Mm.
X amount of dollars to workers' compensation that you pay the players. I know ideas have been thrown around to get the pay or play up, but I'll be honest. I'll be the first one to say what we pay the players is way too low. It is way too low. It's below minimum
100%.
wage. 100%. You got a kid out there putting his body on the line for
Mhm.
for what he's getting offered. I think it's way too low. And when the cost of eggs are 4.69 and the Dollar Tree now it's 3.25 in the Dollar Tree, you know, and we're still at 2.25. I mean, something's got to give here. The Dollar Tree is 3.25, and they got a $5 section now. I happen to love
Yeah.
the Dollar Tree. Dollar General, I mean, it shouldn't be Dollar General. It should be what is. So, I mean, when the cost of living is going up, and we haven't moved since 2007,
Mhm.
or nine, sorry, 2009 when it became the IFL. I think that's got to be seriously looked at, because at the end of the day, there's teams paying guys money under the damn table, and it's like if you would take that and put it on top of the books and give it to these guys, well, then we're not cheating. We're taking care of the guys. They actually feel appreciated, And this is a non-head coach talking. I just feel like that needs to be a serious conversation because I mean we're giving kids, you know, and then the hard thing about it is too, in the day of the NIL, it's hard to get
Mhm.
a big time Division 1 Power 5 kid anymore because he was making more on the practice squad, doing guys' homework on the football team than he would even sniff making with us. And they're like, "No, I'm good. I got this. I'm not trying to break my body for that amount." So, I mean, it just needs. I think it's a conversation needs to happen, and I just figure they need to have a creative way to get around the workers' comp situation if that's the case. But I just feel like that the the overall body of work that Todd's done since he's been commissioner has been, I mean, outstanding. I mean, you have to handle 14, 15, 16 different personalities of coaches every day texting you, asking you dumb
Mhm.
questions. I know I blow him up at times, and you got owners. He's got to report to. Got to keep everybody working towards the same goal. And I think he's done a hell of a job. I'll give him
Yeah.
credit for it. And I'm glad he didn't overturn the game in Arizona because it would have caused Pandora's box to burst wide open.
You
And
can't you
no,
can't do it.
you can't do it. You can't do it at all.
Mhm.
And there's no way you could have done that. And I don't care what the threats were, you ain't doing it. But at the same time, you know it shows the moving forward process of what's coming into the league and in 2027 and the teams that we got in the Albuquerque team, the Duke City team. Sorry, the Albuquerque.
Chupacabras.
Yeah, their ownership is off the charts. They're awesome, man. I
Yeah.
met them at the championship game, and they're going to do it
Mhm.
right down there. And there's a lot of great things in the works that a lot of people are excited about. That took more than time. It took a lot of people to do, and you just can't speak highly enough about the team's ownerships and what they're doing, to make this league what it is. And I was actually happy to see Green Bay make the championship because I know Kathy's
Yeah.
grinded, and it was, and to see Quad Cities battling too.
Mhm.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, I
You
lost
there?
you. I hear your audio, but I can't see you.
Okay, well, it probably should pop back on. I had Coach Marshall Hart call in just now, so he's probably telling me I got
Gotcha.
a booger in my nose or something.
Yeah.
But it'll click back in a second. But no, it was good to see those teams do what they did, and Tulsa to make the playoffs the first time was pretty awesome. So,
Hmm.
but no, I'm excited for what the league has to hold moving forward.
Can you elaborate on any teams that are coming in, or?
I mean, I haven't been in the owners' meeting in 2 seasons. Matter of
Mhm.
fact, I didn't even know half the stuff I needed to know last season. So I have no clue what's coming in and what's doing what. So I'm out of the loop these days. I used to. It's different sitting in and then not sitting in. So
Mhm.
you know, it it's but from what I'm hearing through the talking heads that would be on the chat lines, that we've got
Mhm.
some pretty cool stuff coming in.
Nice. Looking forward to
So
it, man. So, do you plan on being a OC for a couple years and then going back to head coach, or you
well, I'll be
just
honest.
gonna?
You can't apply for a head coaching job by being a head coach, and
Mhm.
so um, it's an opportunity that me being an offensive coordinator, if something were to come open, that I could put my name in the hat for. Um, and kind of, oh, there we go. Here we go. We're back. Put my name in the hat for if something were to come open while being an offensive coordinator, if given the blessing by my head coach and the ownership of the team I'm working for. There's a better possibility of getting that done than being a head coach somewhere or taking that third year in Tucson. But if something opens on the East Coast, I definitely want to be closer to my kids.
Mhm.
And I've been a lot of places and had to restart a lot of teams and start up a lot of teams. Have been successful doing it. I just like to get someplace and actually start it up, and then that ownership sustain, maintain, and get the job done off the field, because we've got the job done on the field somewhere. So that's kind of important to me, is interviewing ownerships instead of ownerships interviewing me.
Mhm. So, have you already met with Marvin in Tulsa and gotten a place and stuff, or?
No, we just team housing. I'll go down there during the season and be in the team housing and run the offense and you know elaborate with Marvin on Coach Jones and everything that we want to do. Game plan wise. I just again, it's a relieving feeling to be able to work with a great defensive coordinator and um, at the same time know that I don't have to worry about all the headaches and the 25 personalities in the locker room making them mesh and gel together. It's not my job this year. My job is just to put points on the board, focus on the offense, and not worry about what the defense does or the special teams do. And as long as
Yeah.
we have the X's and O's done on the offensive side and we're putting up 65 points a game, we should win them. So Marvin and I've had some good conversations about possible players, possible you know scenarios, tryouts,
Yeah.
and we've been you on the same page for quite some time now. So
So you have a pretty extensive file on players right now in college and all that.
yeah, I got one of the best director of player personnel by the name of Marshall Hart. He was one of my coaches in Spokane, coached in
Mm.
Iowa. Um, he's he's got a database of a ton of the guys. I mean, he's on it. We've already scouted everybody's roster. I sat in Tucson and got pillaged for a couple years. People took guys off our roster last year. So,
Mhm.
I'm going to return the favor this year, um, get a few guys that we need. But for the most part, it's just about getting the right guy and getting the player that's hungry to play. Because if they're going to pay for the 250, they've got to be hungry and want it. They got to be you know fresh out, hungry, no bills at home, no family to take care of, and he's on it. Marvin's on it. A couple of other coaches have been on it. So we're excited about where we are with who we've signed so far and who we're about to sign.
So are you saying that, like, pillage, so people can be under contract with, say, Spokane, and if you're the Carolina Cobras, you can just come and take them?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
any leagues. I mean, there's the contract. The problem with all these alphabet leagues is not a single contract. Keeps you from signing with another league. So we can have an IFL contract and an NAL team or an AF1 team up in northern or in New York who wants to spend money on a bunch of guys and offer their form of recruiting is looking who gets signed in the IFL and then offering them twice as much money to get them to go there. And
Hmm.
they're just they're posers. And so I mean they're winning games. It's a good way to do it, but they're not coaching. And there's a reason neither one of them none of them coaches ever been a coach of the IFL.
Yeah,
But
Alfonso Taylor signed with Albany.
yeah, I mean, Alfonso's a two-way player. If they're going to pay him the
Mhm.
money they offer him, then I said, hell yeah, take that job. Take it. And then if you get up there and you don't like what they're doing, or it ain't a fit for you, you got a spot with me for sure.
Mhm.
But he's a two-way guy, and he's an AFL style guy to where he can play DB and receiver in the same game. In the IFL, it's more traditional outdoor football, and it's hard to get be a two-way guy and be on the field the entire game. So, but yeah, our contracts don't keep other leagues from poaching our guys. And the restricted free agency period in the IFL, those guys are on your roster. You're trying to re-sign them while other teams are talking to them, and then they
Mhm.
take them off your roster. We had a couple guys last year get taken off our roster. And it kind of makes you mad because I couldn't, I wasn't trying to take guys off rosters last year. You want to build your
Definitely.
own team. It's just but this season it's fair game. I'm going to be making some guys upset and get back to being hated again.
Definitely. You've always been a class act and a great coach, man. I remember you in Frisco when the balls disappeared. Remember
when, the,
that?
when the ball boy and the balls disappeared because the ball boy was doing it.
No. Did I say that?
Who was the ball boy that game?
Action Jackson?
Yes. Yeah. Somehow I think you didn't get the memo that we don't want to pass them out to fans that come to the
No.
game.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you doing it, but yeah. Can you hear him? I can hear him. It's in my earphone.
Yeah.
So, but no, it was always fun. I mean, Frisco was a great place. That was awesome. The fans there were
So
awesome too.
you've been
Um,
with Frisco, with Wichita Falls, Tucson, Carolina,
Nashville.
Spokane, Nashville.
Yep.
You
Nashville's
trying
done.
to coach with all the teams in the IFL?
I'd really like to catch on to an ownership group that sticks, honestly.
Yeah.
I go to Wichita Falls Nighthawks and we get shut down for stupid reasons. Carolina Cobras, I took the job in Spokane because Sam Adams offered me an ungodly amount of money. And Lord knows
Hmm.
what he was doing up there. He's in trouble with the high school football in Seattle now, illegally recruiting players and trying to get them to be allowed to skip class and just a bunch of shit they're in trouble with, which is great. Couldn't happen to a worse person. But you know, you want to be with a place with an ownership group that's solid, that's in it for the long run, and do it for the right reasons.
Hmm.
And Tucson, that they've sustained for 7 seasons. And you like seeing those type of things. You know, the Nashville Venom were in Nashville for 2 years. Um, Wichita Falls Nighthawks, I was there for 2 years. Carolina Cobras, I was there for 2 years, but they lasted a couple more years, but they declined as the years went after we left. Um, Spokane, thank God that shut down. But that was a great fan base and great people up there. If somebody else would own that team, or if a legit owner would go into Spokane, that would be a gold mine. We were getting 2 meals a week from partners. Like they would give us 2 meals a week. Normally, you get 1 meal a week from a food place. We were getting 2 meals a week from all of our food places. I mean, it was incredible. The fans were up there were incredible. They still have a fan. Their fan booster club still meets every first Saturday of each month for breakfast. And they're still
The
together.
Spokane one?
Spokane, yeah, the Spokane Shock fan base. I mean, they're
Yeah.
awesome people. So if a real owner would go in there and say, "I want to put a team in here," and they would get with the arena and show that they're not a clown and not take people's money and make the wrongs right, that team would thrive and would still be thriving. I think the Spokane Empire made a mistake by not buying the Spokane Shock name from the AFL when they went to the IFL. They would
Definitely.
still be up there. Notter would still be up there running it. Shaq would still be up there coaching it because that they love that team up there. So, but yeah, you just want to go somewhere where it'd be like the next stop might be the last stop. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
whatever if I stay in Tulsa and coach OC for many years they had me, it'd be great. But if there's a team out there that wants to win and be a contender game year one, then I'm up for it. But again, it's just got to be something where it's not going to be a 1, 2, 3 season and be done. Like to build a program. How Curtis Riggs got to run Sioux Falls Storm for all those years. KG's up in Arizona running that for years.
Hmm.
You want to be somewhere where you can plant your roots, be at home, and then coach that team. So hopefully there's some teams coming close to the triad Carolina areas, Virginia somewhere. That'd be nice to have a team come in this area and get an opportunity to be the head coach of that someday. But right now, I can't wait to whip ass in Tulsa. That's the goal, is getting
Awesome.
Tulsa a championship this season, and that's definitely the goal. 10 times the goal.
Would you ever see yourself in ownership, or you just want to coach and
I mean, what am I going to be, a credit card millionaire or what? Be like
yeah.
Tommy Benizio and rub two nickels together, try to make a dollar? No.
Mhm.
No, I would take I would take an ownership stake in a team instead of some less pay for sure, and then have sweat equity in the team for sure, because
Yeah.
that just shows that, hey, I believe in this. I'm going to bust my ass to make it even better. I think that's an idea for a lot of coaches to be a part of. So more coaches could be in these owners meetings. We can get some little more common sense into the game itself when it comes to rules and stuff. But only having one coach and two coaches in these owners meetings, it's basically their ideas, nobody else's. It ain't like they're asking us what we think. But no, I wouldn't be opposed to having some ownership stake in a team to take less money and help produce it and get it running. And it just has to be the right ownership. You want somebody that
Yeah.
actually, you know, wants to be hated. That wants to be, you know, I don't know. The owner I had in Nashville was great, Jeff Knight. He didn't give a damn what anybody thought. The owner in Carolina, Rob Storm, didn't give a damn what anybody thought. And that's the
Mhm.
ownership group you want to be around. You don't want to be, well, they think this of us. They think we're doing this. I want a guy to say, fuck that. We're doing it this way because it's my team. That's the dominant ownership. I mean, let's be honest. That's what Ron Schertz does. You know,
Mhm.
that's what, you know, teams do. They have good teams that on the top, they do it their way. They do it their way, the way they believe in doing it, and they do it right.
Yep.
So that's the great thing about it. You got to find that right group and then, produce a winner on the field.
Are you going to encourage your kids to play football and want to coach them?
Oh yeah, Lenny Bucket's already he's 1-0 in his flag league. He's out there pretending like he's B Smith, Brian Smith. He's acting like he's Breon Murray on defense. His favorite player was Quez Jackson, so he's pulling flags and yelling out Quez Jackson,
Yeah.
talking shit. I mean, he's going to be spatted up this week. He's 6. He'll be the only kid out there spatted up and flag football with eye black on, matching gloves and cleats, and
Nice.
he looks the part. We just got done with soccer practice, Larkin likes soccer, but I don't know anything about soccer, so I'm not going to try to coach yet. But
Yeah.
it's I the boys are going to play football if they want to play football. If they want to play golf, they'll golf. Whatever they do, we'll support them and back them, and you know, hope they do a lot more than just one sport, just being all around athletes. So that's the fun part of the off season is getting to see. Take them to football games. We went to a Hokie game last year in Virginia Tech, and now all Lenny does is yell, "Let's go!" And I got to yell, "Hokies!" We're not
Hokies.
we're not even Hokie fans. We're Buckeye fans, but we still went to the game.
Yeah.
So, but it's the beauty of the off season.
Yes, sir. So, when does the season start? In March?
Yeah, I think camp will start the second week of March. I'm
Second week
sure
of
we'll probably
March.
play San Antonio game one since they're the closest, and the schedule is always like a round robin for everybody. You play your closest opponent 3 or 4 times, and then you travel
Yeah.
when you have to. But I'm sure we'll start with San Antonio or maybe the new Albuquerque team. It doesn't matter. We're going
Hopefully, you guys come to the Rattlers or the Rattlers come there. So I'll be there.
to toss it by 100.
Yep. And
So
I'll be your ball boy.
yeah, I'd let you. It'd be good. Definitely be good. So, no, I just think you got to love it because the competition with the coaches. I mean, the way the coaches talked and chatted and got along with it, the championship game was awesome. I mean, the coaches in this
Yeah.
league, Dixie, Xavier, Corey, the Coreys, you know,
Mhm.
everybody has a good conversation, good time.
Andre
It's
Coles.
competitive. Andre's, and we had a good conversation. It's competitive conversation. It's fun because everybody wants to win, but at the same time, you know, we got to have each other's backs because without these leagues, we don't have jobs.
Yeah.
So we got to kind of make sure everybody's on the same page as coaches, but it's fun banter back and forth, talking trash to each other and getting to know their families and
Chuck
people.
Lopez. He's a class act for New Mexico.
Who?
Chuck Lopez. You know, he like runs the day to day.
Oh yeah, he was at the championship game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Chuck. I think I saw his top of his underwear at the bar that night. He had a couple drinks to drink. So
I bet you can't guess. There's one coach in the league that I have not had on my podcast.
Jason
And
Gibson,
no, you know who it is.
Kevin Guy.
Yup.
Kevin, he's afraid. He's gonna act like he's afraid to get on the podcast. He's afraid you're gonna ask him a question he can't have an answer to, or
He
So
he said that he was gonna come on during the off season, and it's the off season.
I'll text him and say, hey, get on the podcast, get on there and
Yep.
do it, knock it out. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's it's a lot of times during the season it's hard to you got to find the right time. Plus, a lot of times when you do it, you got to make sure you're on your p's and q's and you say the proper answers and do the right thing. And honestly, I don't give a damn. I'm
But
going
I
to answer
mean,
questions.
I don't really put you on the spot that much, do I?
No, no, I mean, you don't. I mean, you ask questions that needs to be answered. I mean, and again, there's no juicy rhyme or reason to anything that's going on this offseason or during the season. But at the same
Sure.
time, I want to win a championship. And I know
Mhm.
a lot of players want to play in front of a lot of people, and you want to be taken care of. You want to have unlimited supply of gear that you wear. And I
Yeah.
think those are important things for players to look at. The quality of living outside of football is important.
Mhm.
Vegas gets players just simply being what they have in Vegas. It's super nice.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you keep up with the Joneses on and off the field. Like I said this earlier this season, for us to be able to compete on the field, we have to be able to compete off the field too.
Hmm.
And we're at a place where we're doing that.
Well, I'm excited to see what you can do, man, because you're a class act and always easy to talk to.
I appreciate it. I'm not called a class act very often, but I appreciate it when I
Nah,
do hear it every once in a while. So
Billy
I
Back's
mean,
a class act.
I got people from Tucson telling me I'm an asshole for leaving, which they don't have no clue why I left. So I mean, it just people just want to talk because they want to hear themselves talk. So I let them think what they
Fans in
want.
Tucson?
Yeah, some guy by the name of Daniel on social media just talking shit about I don't know what, but you ask the players, the people around us, the coaches, they
Hmm.
it's it's all kosher, it's all fine, but at the same time, you got some idiots out there that like to hear themselves talk, and most time they just need to just breathe instead and just not say a word.
In the end, you got to do what's best for yourself and your
I mean,
family.
it's family first. I mean, there's no
Hmm.
question it's hard to wait. I couldn't. My girlfriend only came out one time this season. She's big support for what I do, and
Hmm.
my boys were out there for 6 weeks. But it's hard to. It'd be nice to get them week on, week off, week on, week off, and focus on what I'm doing. Um,
Yeah.
but I want them to be a part of it. It's nothing better than watching after we beat the Rattlers at their place, watching Lenny and Larkin run on the field, fist pumping each other, and then fighting each other on the middle logo, and then talking shit to the Rattler players that we just beat their ass, and 6-year-old cussing. That's great cat.
BTA?
Yeah, they say it, and when it's needed, it's allowed. We don't.
Yes.
We're not liberals over here, so we enjoy those type of things. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, so we're excited about this season. I can't wait to get out there, get started, build this roster, and represent Tulsa the way they want to be represented. I'm not going to
Yeah.
send any sell picks to anybody I'm not supposed to up in the main office, or hit on somebody I'm not supposed to. So keep it clean and kosher and do what we're supposed to
Hmm.
do, and just
I don't even
make
want to
wins
touch
happen.
that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it should have been asked before it happened. So
So who
there's a
did
lot of
that?
stuff. I mean, I'm sure if you dig around, you can find out. But
Uh,
yeah, it just Snow White's out there. They want to point fingers, but they don't realize that there's always three fingers pointing back.
gotcha.
So, but yeah, I'll be done in a second, bud.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm looking forward to it. So I hope you got everything you need off this podcast to get the stuff out there. You can kind of Google that other stuff I mentioned and find out what happened, and the schedule
Definitely.
is popping out coming in, and
Hmm.
um,
Do you
you know
have an idea on when the schedule will be released?
I'd say probably I have no clue, honestly. I can't even take an
No
educated
clue.
guess. I mean, that's for the powers above me.
Gotcha.
So
I wish you had breaking news and you could let me break it, but I
I mean,
understand.
I got breaking news. I mean, the Packers play tomorrow night, Thursday night. I mean, that's about my focus is on that right now. And I
Mhm.
got a phone call back with my director of player personnel to get off this.
All right.
But we're
What
you know,
about Micah Parsons, real quick?
I mean, talk about that. I mean, thank you, Jerry Jones, and all you idiot Cowboy fans out there. And you know what? I always said the only thing worse to Kentucky basketball is Kentucky basketball fans. I think the only thing worse than Kentucky basketball fans is Dallas Cowboy fans. I just
Ouch.
can't. I just feel like that. It's like you know, you live in the past more than anything, and to be a Packer right now, it's great. It's a great feeling. That they're just that. Oh my gosh, why would you let Micah Parsons go to the Green Bay Packers?
I know.
Why would you let Micah Parsons go? Period. I'm
You
kidding.
talking Super Bowl?
I got a lot of friends that are Cowboy fans. I'm just talking trash about Cowboys. I love Cowboy fans, but I mean, we better. I mean, we got the defense put together. I feel like the receiving core, the offense is not. I'm not sold on the offensive line with the Packers yet.
Yeah.
We lost our center to the dang Jets. Why would we lose? The Ohio kid, the Ohio State guy,
Hmm.
from Miamisburg High School in Southwest Ohio, go to the Jets. He's a great center.
Yeah.
So we got to sure up running lanes for Josh Jacobs, but I mean I'm pretty high on him. So
Awesome.
I mean, who do you root for? The Cardinals?
Yes.
I mean,
What's wrong with me?
I know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. out there, so that's a
I
brand new
like
guy.
Marvin Harrison Jr., but I'm not sold on Kyler Murray. I was
I,
sold on Kyler Murray when we drafted him, but he's
that's
got to
half
go.
price. You got to get him for half price. I
Yes.
mean, he's shorter than I am.
Uh-huh. And you're
So
short, man.
I'm short as shit. So I mean, I'm
Just
five
kidding.
nine, 5'10" in Air Maxes. That's why I
Yep.
wear a lot of Air Maxes. So,
All right,
but
man. It's been my pleasure to have you on, and we'll talk through the season. You
I
have a good
appreciate
night,
you. There's
buddy.
a couple questions going on there. I just now saw them. I hope next
Yeah.
year he was playing in Tucson. I hope we are playing in Tucson too. I hope we're down in Tucson for the championship game. That's the goal. I wouldn't mind having an away game in Tucson because the fans there are awesome.
Hmm.
Daisy Mae's steak is the best steak I've ever had up there by the Star Pass. Um, so, Boneyard Tim said, "Go Rams, go Packers,
I know. I'd go
go
Packers
Packers."
over Rams, dude.
Yeah,
Rams
I
are,
mean the Rams beat the Bengals, and yeah, I mean, that was a frustrating no call or pass interference call they called down there on Logan Wilson
yeah.
inside the red zone to give him the go ahead
Hmm.
touchdown, but it should have been the Bengals game to win.
To give him the
Probably,
Super Bowl.
probably second best halftime behind Janet Jackson of all time with Snoop and Dre out there.
Janet Jackson.
I
I know
can't
what
believe people
you're
are
talking
mad
about.
about that. I mean, how often do you see a titty pop at a halftime show? You know,
That's classic,
I'll
man.
watch that again. Matter of fact, I'll watch it
Hmm.
on YouTube here in a little bit just to see it again.
All right.
They want views. Pop that out again.
Yep.
I mean, now
I
what?
need
We got
a I need to get a chick and have a wardrobe malfunction on.
what's wrong with that? You don't
Nothing.
want to see it? I got in trouble for saying Janet Jackson titty. I'm not
Uh-huh.
gonna watch it. I'm not gonna be watching it.
I know.
So, but no, I mean, I think that they didn't make it exciting halftime shows. I like last year's was
They
pretty
need to
exciting
do that.
because
Yeah.
he called Drake out. Hopefully Morgan Wallen gets the halftime show, the entertainer of the
Hmm.
year. That'd be
Or
awesome to
Sydney
see.
Sweeney,
Who's that?
American Eagle chick.
Oh yeah, absolutely out there. What's she? I mean, I don't care if she.
She's pretty good looking, but I mean,
Yeah, but she's not a singer though.
no. But she
Yeah,
pissed off the liberals.
yeah, that's true. That's true. No, that's right. She did in that American outfit, American Eagle outfit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah. That's good stuff. I'm good.
Yep.
I'm into pissing them off too. I'll piss off a liberal any day. I don't give a damn.
Yep.
But I'm not,
All right, buddy.
put my political views on anybody. I had to delete
No,
a few people. I had to delete a few people off Facebook today just talking nonsense over the Charlie Kirk thing. So there's a bunch of
yeah,
freaking idiots out
that's
there.
crazy, man.
Absolute freaking idiots. I
Hmm.
mean, so, but
Well,
yeah,
stay safe out there, man, and we'll talk. All right.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you too, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
have me on anytime. I'm on anytime. I'll see if we can get Coach Jones on here too. Has he been on here yet?
No, he hasn't. Yeah, talk to
Yeah,
him, and I'll definitely
get
do
some
him.
good conversation out of him. Ask him about the
Yes.
good old days.
All right.
So, all right, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you too, man. Thank you.
All right, see you.
Bye.